What's going on, STL racers? I'm excited about this video. Cheap ways to add horsepower to your car. I should know because I used to own a fun little car that I used to tinker with. Well, sadly, that one's no longer with me, which I got a new car, by the way. So I'm so totally excited to show you that future video coming up. But I just thought that I would let you guys know that everything's good. And we're going to carry on to cheap ways to add horsepower to your cars. Number one, I always highly recommend this part, the cold air intake. If you all are scratching your head asking what the heck is that, it's basically an air filter added to your car to deliver more air to your engine. You can, they add about I've seen about an extra horsepower to about an extra 10 horsepower. It really depends on how much you spend. They average between $39 to about $245, what I've seen. They are great, but beware of this part. It is also known for hydro locking your engine. If you all are scratching your head saying, what the heck is that? It's basically whenever water delivers up to your engine and it can kill it. You have a slim chance of that happening depending on how old the car is. What you have to do is remove all your spark plugs and basically rev up that engine and get out all that water. It sometimes starts up, sometimes it chokes. Another one is, oh, and one more thing about that part, keep it clean. Buy an air cleaner for it, and whenever you, about maybe every 3 to 5,000 miles, take out your hose, and there's videos on how to clean it, which I might have one coming up here soon. Another one to add horsepower is catback exhaust. That one I always recommend for beginners because it really does get you the step up to the racing world / high performance car world. They cost about $89. It really depends on your vehicle. I've seen them go from $70 to about $500. They're very, very loud, but also they are sometimes effective. The problem that I see many people run with this is that they think that they can go buy a little $70 catback exhaust and it adds, 15 horsepower. No, you get what you pay for in high performance land. And I think there's one quote from a movie I forgot, but it says, "Speed is what you pay for it," which is kind of true. These parts are not cheap. Some are cheap, some are not. But it's a good way for beginners to finally figure out if this is for them or not. Another one I always recommend is put on headers. It will add more airflow and help your engine and car breathe. And it might add a little bit of horsepower, which I'm estimating maybe about 2 to, I want to say 10 horsepower if I would say so. But also you guys can Google this. But my biggest thing is do those three and figure out if those are for you or not, because I'll be honest, high performance is not for everybody. But it's also another way to add more air and also makes it more louder, so you got more people going after you. Okay, the next performance parts, I will be warning you, these can kill your engine. So if you are daily driving your car and it has none of these two, I would recommend that you stay away from these two. Turbo and supercharged. Turbos require boost and a boost gauge and some other stuff. Basically, it adds more air to your engine like all these do, but it basically suffocates it to where you are delivering more horsepower to about, I want to say 24 to 50 horsepower, depending on how much boost you put in. If you put in a lot of boost, you're going to get a lot of horsepower. But also be aware, if you are racing turbos cars, they do start off slow, but then they are gradually made to pass you. So heads up. I call them the slow dance type performance part because I drove a turbo and it always did that all the time. The other type of part that I highly do recommend, but I'm warning you, this one can and will kill your engine, is the supercharger. It basically forces more power out of your engine and will shorten its life. Heads up, both parts will do that. And but the number one thing that I said is, if you're daily driving these cars and they already come factory turbo, keep them with the factory turbo. But if you want to race on your side, you got all the money in the world, be my guest. The next one is spark plugs, because it's basically major maintenance too. They go out, they help ignite your car basically. They add about 2 to 5 horsepower for each spark plug that you put in. Cost under $10. Also, that's normal maintenance that you got to do to your car. So basically, all you are is maintaining with the horsepower. The other one that I always do recommend is the throttle body. Basically, that lets more air come in and out. The more air that you let in, the more horsepower you're going to get. It's pretty simple as that. They average, I've seen, between $100 to about $300, depends on what make and model your car is. If you have a cheap little Miata, no problem. But if you have, for example, my 97 Maxima, yeah, that isn't going to really work out. The other one is weight reduction. Carbon fiber hood, which that's not cheap. That's about $500 to $1,500 right there. And racing seats. Beware of the racing seats. A $300 one is not comfortable. All about racing is comfort. I'm sorry to say it. If you ain't comfortable while you're driving that fast car, you're not going to get anywhere. But it does add some weight reduction. Weight reduction really does help. But those are some parts that I highly do recommend for people that want to get into the racing, to figure out if high performance is for them or not. Or heck, if you just want something cool, I would just say slap on a cold air intake and have fun, but be careful of water. As long as you're not having your hood open out in the rain or during a flood, you should be good. But that's some parts I highly do recommend for people that want to step into the horsepower world. But like I said, horsepower is what you pay for it. So if you're willing to put down a lot of money, you're going to get a lot of horsepower. But if you just want to put down a little bit, you're only getting a little bit. But that's what I highly do recommend. Also, more videos coming up here soon. But I just thought that would make a fun little video for you guys. So come subscribe if you haven't. Ring that bell for notifications. And also come like our videos and keep on watching. This is STLR signing off.